What is up and welcome to Maps on the Map and to Emirates economy class. Emirates has dominated the skies since the 1980s, and what started as a duo of two leased aircraft has grown into one of the world's largest fleets of Airbus A380s and Boeing 777s, flying to over 140 different destinations across the map. But the Middle Eastern airline is no longer flying solo, with multiple neighbouring airlines fighting to take the crown, including Etihad Airways, Qatar Airways and Saudi Arabia's very own soon-to-take-off Riyadh Air. Back in 2013, Emirates won the award for the world's best airline, but fast forward a decade and well, cutting a long story short, I think Emirates has fallen off. So let's break it down. Is Emirates still worth it, or is it just the worst, best airline out there? Right, so this video is going to be broken down into the essentials when it comes to a flight review. The luggage allowance, the seat and legroom, the amenities, the infotainment, the food, and of course it's a Maps on the Map flight review, so we're going to check out the restroom. For those that are new to the channel, it's just how we roll. So to set the scene, this was the second leg of my journey, a 7-hour flight from Dubai all the way to Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. The first leg being another 7-hour flight from Birmingham, England to Dubai, which I think gives me more than enough air miles to get a real feel for Emirates economy class. So let's kick things off with the luggage allowance, and things were off to an absolutely shocking start. Guys, get your popcorn, we're starting things off with a bit of drama. Right, so hear me out, and actually I want to know in the comments if you agree with me on this one, or if I'm in the wrong. So from my experience, anywhere I've flown in the world, your check-in suitcase is weighed, and with Emirates it was a 25 kilogram limit. Completely fair, I get it, that's standard procedure. However, never in my time embarking the skies has a long-haul airline 1. Weighed my carry-on, you know, the small suitcase that you store in the overhead lockers, and 2. Weighed my personal item, usually a rucksack for me, but it can be a laptop bag or a handbag, and then 3. Had the audacity to add the weights and be like, bro, you're over the 7 kg carry-on limit. Man, I was shook. Mainly because my rucksack low-key, like, it had bare stuff in it, like my camera gear, laptop, iPad, Nintendo Switch. But hey, man, it's the principle, okay? Like, even weighing the carry-on suitcase, I kinda get it, but the rucksack. How dare you, Emirates? How dare you? Etihad didn't do that. British Airways didn't do that. Bro, even man like Ryanair has let me waltz on to their plane with my rucksack. But after some stress and multiple rearrangements, somehow I was within the weight limit. But on a level, I would have put my Nintendo Switch down my trousers and wore 15 t-shirts if I had to. We ain't paying up, buddy. Right, so fast forward to an otherwise straightforward boarding process, let's talk about the seat and legroom. So for reference, I'm 6'3". Psych! I'm 5'9". Double psych! That's if I'm wearing shoes. So jokes aside, I'm 5'8", and I had no issue with the legroom. And top tip, I used to be part of the window seat gang, but man, aisle seats are the way to go if you want to stretch your legs. And for those of you that like the middle seat, well, I'm worried about you. You should probably seek professional help. As for the cabin and the seat itself, it was fine. Nothing amazing, kinda dated to be honest, but it did the job. Although as expected, my backside was hurting after 14 hours sitting in the economy class seat. In the seat's defense though, it had all you could possibly need. A headphone jack and USB port for your devices, a full-on plug socket for maximum charge, and a teeny tiny coat hook. Then of course you've got your fold-out tray, pretty standard plane procedure, and oh my days, ladies and gentlemen, I give you the world's worst cup holder. Like, it does everything else but hold your cup. It's more of a fidget spinner than a cup holder, and legend has it, if everybody spins it at the same time, it generates enough centrifugal force to activate hyperspeed. You heard it here first, guys. I've always got your back with the top tips, and if you want to have my back, and if you're enjoying the video so far, feel free to leave a like and subscribe for more content just like this. Pure, educational, informative content. Okay, sorry, I digress. So overall, the seat, nothing special, could be better, but has the essentials. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I've reviewed a few airlines which I'll link down below for you to check out, But one thing that sets the tone for your flight experience are the free amenities. Last time I flew on Etihad Airways, I was absolutely drowning in amenities, so I thought with Emirates things would be the same, if not a step up. But boy, I've never been so wrong. You know what? At this point, I'm not even angry, I'm just disappointed. My amenity was a safety instruction booklet. What is going on here? After some riveting reading of safety stuff, I decided to do some more reading of the in-flight entertainment guide. Checked out my pillow, and then we got some over-ear headphones, the comfort of which was non-existent. But then I was blessed with actually a really nice blanket. Like, it was soft and fleecy, I loved it. But like, there was no eye mask, toothbrush, toothpaste, just the small simple things that make your flight that little more exciting. But the amenities can only get you so far. The true make or break of a flight is the infotainment and the food. So let's discuss how I spent 7 hours amongst the clouds. The infotainment includes the touchscreen itself, and then this nifty little push-out remote that allows you to control the entire system from the palm of your hands, should you want to kick back and relax and not have to keep tapping next man's headrest. And not only that, but from the remote you can also control your seat lighting and call for assistance. The main screen is actually pretty responsive and easy to control, with large buttons and sliders and fairly minimal input lag. First impressions, way better than my experience with British Airways infotainment screen, but maybe not as responsive as the likes of Etihad Airways or American Airlines. As for the Emirates infotainment offering, it's broken down into the acronym ICE, standing for Information, Connectivity and Entertainment. The information page is going to show things like your flight details, facts about Dubai and its top attractions, as well as news headlines. Now, I'm a sucker for an in-flight camera, and this plane had not one, but two cameras to get those bird's eye views. But I definitely did not enjoy it as much as my man here, who was fully locked into the takeoff experience as if he was the co-pilot's co-pilot. You gotta respect it. And then there's also the flight map, showing you how far you are from your destination. Moving over to the connectivity section, this features things like a passenger survey for you to provide positive or negative feedback, information on using your mobile phone, and then we had the USB media player, because who doesn't want to look at their digital camera photos, listen to their classic iPod tunes, or you know that feeling where you just want to chill and read a PDF? Well, my friends, Emirates have got you covered in abundance, an absolute technical masterclass. Also, you'll be pleased to know that Emirates do offer Wi-Fi, which is free of charge if you have an Emirates Skywards loyalty account, which is also free to make, so that's a win in my opinion. I'd say the free Wi-Fi is good enough to send and receive WhatsApp messages, but that's really about it. There is also the option to pay to upgrade to a better Wi-Fi package, should you wish. And then we've also got seat-to-seat calling, just in case you need to chat to Rodney in seat 4C. And then finally we've got your entertainment section. This is where you're going to spend most of your time if, like me, you can't sleep on the plane. Starting with the movies, and on a level I was actually impressed with the selection of films, including some fairly recent ones relative to when I flew, including Oppenheimer, Wonka, The Hunger Games and The Marvels. As for the TV shows, there was a decent selection of genres, including HBO Max, which was a nice touch. And I'm always going to call out the good stuff, because an airline is doing TV shows right when they have consecutive seasons of a TV show, and Emirates did just that. Not just like season 5 of a show, because well, that's stupid. So props where props are due, Emirates. For those of you that are into your podcasts, there's a healthy selection to choose from. And then to my surprise, there was live TV, including live sports and the news. And I've got no clue what was going on in the news today, but we got some guy talking very intensely about foxes. And if you haven't come prepared with your tunes, then don't fear, because you can whack on the extremely uncomfortable Emirates over-ear headphones and jam to the inbuilt music library, which to my surprise had some absolute bangers from all kinds of artists and genres. And then finally, I had to check out the games, which are always like pretty shocking on a plane. And my game of choice today was Football Cup, aka Emirates FIFA. So we loaded this bad boy up for a couple of friendlies with the lads, and yo, low key, the graphics slapped. Even Mrs. on the Map was in awe.
This is FIFA.
Mrs. on the Map's asking if this is FIFA. Yeah, sure.
So after spending some time sweating it out on Emirates FIFA, I'd rustled up quite the appetite, so let's check out the food aboard this Emirates economy class flight. On the 7-hour flight from Dubai to Ho Chi Minh, we received 2 meals in total, a proper meal towards the start of the journey, and a little snack towards the end. So first up we've got the beef casserole, mashed potato and broccoli. Honestly, it was just okay, a bit meh. Nothing to rave about, with some of the pieces of beef being a tad chewy for my liking, and the chickpea salad, as fragrant as it looked, was all style and no substance. It was just a bit bland. So we're not off to a good start, but could the dessert save this meal? Let's find out.
And this is the dessert. It is profiteroles, chocolate crumb, and I think salted caramel sauce. We got a big bite. Profiteroles, bang man. That is a good dessert.
So the salted caramel profiteroles rescued a pretty lackluster meal.
Also, if you're vegetarian or vegan, make sure you pre-order your meal beforehand. They won't have many vegetarian meals available if you don't specify before. And the way that you can do that is by the app. And basically what you need is like flight details to do that. Because Mrs. on the Map is lucky, she's got vegetarian meals both times. But if they ran out, for example, because she didn't pre-book, she wouldn't have got one. So that is a must.
As I mentioned earlier, the second meal was more of a snack. The vegetarian option being a pizza slice, similar to something you'll find at Greggs for my viewers in the UK. And the meat snack was a beef brisket and sauerkraut panini, which was highly average, accompanied with a side of chocolate cake, which was like sweating inside its packaging, but it actually banged. I think honestly the food is where Emirates is falling behind the competition. The food in economy class left a lot to be desired, and I definitely had a better experience when I flew economy with Etihad Airways, which if you're interested you can either click the pop-up link or head to the link in the description below to check out my full review of Etihad Airways, including the food.
Another top tip is if you do want to upgrade to business class, I'll suggest doing it at the time of checking in online. So when I checked in online before we left England, it said that we could upgrade only from Dubai to Vietnam, and that would have been £1,000 for both me and Mrs. on the Map to upgrade to business class for that 7-hour flight. So it's only one of the flights, but I didn't think it was too bad, £500 each. So we thought we would hold out and see if there were any offers when we got to Birmingham Airport in the UK. And unfortunately they said no, so they can only upgrade you on the flight that is going out of that area. So they said if we wanted to upgrade from Dubai to Vietnam, we'd have to do that in Dubai. Then when we got to Dubai, we asked how much it was to upgrade, and they said it was about $1,000 each. So actually it would have been cheaper to do it back in England when we checked in online.
So all that mediocre food has got your boys' bowels doing backflips, so I think it's time to check out the restroom.
So of course it wouldn't be a Mamps on the Map plane review without a toilet check. So this is the toilet, the bathroom of the Emirates economy class cabin, and actually I'm bare impressed. This place is hella spacious. You can walk around, there's a mirror here, there's a mirror here, and look, you've got a nice sink. I can just take a few steps. You've got a wooden theme going on here with the wooden toilet seat, the wooden paneling. It's just a sensational place to be. Genuinely, this is probably the best toilet I've been on a plane, just because of how spacious it is. You've even got a little shelf here for your stuff. Not bad at all. And that concludes today's video on Emirates economy class. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you've got any questions about flying economy class, what it's like, or anything at all, just DM me on Instagram or leave a comment down below and I'll get back to you.
And for those of you that want to see more flight content, why not check out my other flight reviews, and of course be sure to hit that subscribe button to join me on more epic adventures.
And as always, it's been a pleasure. Till next time, peace.